news conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
Thank you, John Larson. I receive your kind words on behalf of all of our courageous members of the House of Representatives who want the best for the American people. And what we can do that is best for them in the next 24 hours is to pass affordable, accessible health care for all Americans. The best for all Americans is to have 32 million more people to have health insurance in our country. The best for...
Piece of stinking filth.
Shh, say it again, Shali. This is AJ of the InfoWars. Listen to the Shaliak. This is Alex Jones of InfoWars. Listen to Shaliak on the Cold Reality News and Report.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Well, hello there.
This week on Cold Reality Radio. Fear and loathing inside the deep state. Everyone in the deep state is threatened by the Trump presidency. War breaks out between the neocons and libertarians over Trump's foreign policy. The U.S. spent $585 million on promoting democracy worldwide in the past year. Secret Service can't find tons of its guns, phones, badges, and cars. 5 times when the mainstream media created fake news and people died as a result. Innocent couple locked in cage for months because cops mistook baking soda for cocaine. Trump's picks for Attorney General and CIA happy to undermine civil liberties and increase surveillance. Well, that's what he said he was going to do. I mean, to a certain extent. Iowa lawmaker introduces Suck It Up Buttercup bill to stop students coddling at universities. Monsanto's ally Pompeo to head the CIA. Bad move, Donald, right? So, yeah, nothing's changed. The swamp's not being drained. Russian warships prepare for large-scale assault off Syrian coast. IRS missteps with Bitcoin lead to witch hunt of Coinbase clients. Michigan fights order to deliver bottled water to Flint residents after lead poisoning disaster. What's the truth about Steve Bannon? Associated Press reporters' email reveals how AP prints whatever the Clintons want. President-elect Trump has agreed to pay $25 million to settle civil fraud suits against Trump University. Edward Snowden to the world says, stop letting Facebook control your news. The war on drugs is a human rights disaster, and it must end. Merkel forever. Trump's set to announce new cabinet picks. Romney sucks it up and joins Trump. Schumer vows tough vetting for Sessions. Bolton warns Obama on real action at the UN. Fox News host in talks for commerce job. Welcome to Cold Reality Radio here on the UCY.TV broadcasting network. It is Sunday, November 20th. It's 10:06 on the east coast of America. And gonna talk about some things today. Gonna talk about my particular vision of what is going on here with Trump, and I'm still pretty blindsided that he actually won the election, but I think that he was supposed to win it all along. I think that he was totally supposed to win it all along. And what choice would make people the most vicious and angry and just every emotion that you can think, but Trump being the president-elect and not Hillary Clinton? So you've got the women who wanted to see the first female president. They didn't get that. They're pissed. After 8 years of Obama and his deception of who he is and what he's actually done, and we know that what he's done is do most likely irreparable damage to the United States corporation, which is exactly what the plan was. Most do not know that Obama just absolutely decimated, the Obama administration, Libya, Syria, Iraq, just absolute. The media will call them failures, but they're successes. They'll call them failures, but we know that it's a success because chaos and death is what this system wants. And you say, hey, what's the deal with that? I got to play something for you folks. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to be playing some music. I've got things that are pulling me in all different directions today, but I'm going to get things rolling for you with some music, and then from there we will circle back. So enjoy some of the rock jams. All right, folks. Gonna be searching for some more things here to play for you. I'm in the middle of a situation here. If Vince is available out there, let me know. Hey there. Cult Reality Radio here has absolutely been it's under attack, and I am in. All right, let's see what we got here. In a bind, in a pinch, and I don't know why that opened up on my screen. Sorry, folks. Today is going to go in a completely awful direction. My apologies. Got a number of things here that are just not working for me today, folks. All right, that's bad. Everything on my system is crashing and unrecoverable, it seems. All right, let's see what we got here. See if we got a
This is Ozzy Skateboard, and you're listening to UCY.tv.
Catch Before the First Cup with Jules, Monday through Friday, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at UCY.tv.
I'm going to pull something up, folks.
This is Ozzy Skateboard, and you're listening to UCY.tv.
All right, so the call-in number, if anybody wants to give a shout, that would be 718-717-8296.
I enjoy, folks.
717-8296. We started this morning with my regular opening there for Steve Vai there, and so then I just kind of threw together a little bit there. This is actually, that song there was a version of Purple Haze, not by Jimi Hendrix, and not in the same key, but it was actually from The Cure, from an amazing CD that was released, and any number of different artists on there performing songs by Jimi Hendrix. That was and The Cure with Purple Haze. And I'll play throughout the show today. I want to be able to put together a couple more of those songs, and of course, that was me on guitar, just kind of shredding over top of it. Just, what I do. That's why I picked up the guitar and wanted to play it when I was 12 or 13, when I saw Carlos Santana just killing a solo. And I was like, I want to do that. And so a few things that I've been able to achieve in my life, and that is one of them. So let's, I got to log into this darn chat room here. Again, it's very nice to be here with you. And we're going to get into some things. Oh, didn't like that login. Maybe it likes that one. Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone in there. It's thanks for joining me this morning. We're going to go through some things, just your typical week in Nightmerica and around the world. I get questioned by my friends of mine who I still consider friends that say, I questioned whether you really love America. And then I said, back in the email, I wrote, not all good love is good love. And it's a powerful statement from another friend of mine who said that at one point. Not all love is good love. And even Eric Clapton said, I've had enough of bad love. I need something I can be proud of. All right? So I think we're all familiar with that song, Bad Love, by Eric Clapton. Not all love is good love. Whereas people continue to love America, but they don't even know what's going on in it. They're in love with this idea of what it is, or what it was, or what it was meant to be from the very beginning. All right? But it's not that anymore. And it's not that I don't love America. I'm disappointed in what people have allowed it to be with their unconditional love. You can't unconditionally love America, because if you unconditionally love America, you're going to get fucked. I think we all can agree on that, right? All right. And that's the deal. If you unconditionally love America, you're going to get screwed. And you can't really blame people for getting caught up in something, because the power that has taken and transformed America, not just, butt smack Obama. Okay, this puppet jive turkey that's in there right now. The power that has taken over our country is monstrous. It's a behemoth. It's an absolute behemoth of power and money. And I'm going to go ahead and let me see if I can play this one clip here. And this kind of pretty much encapsulates the whole thing. Here it goes. And this is why this gentleman was murdered in public.
We are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised.
Now, I've heard jackasses like Michael Medved say, oh, he was talking about communism. That's what he was talking about, communism. Asshole. Moron. And, of course, a puppet of the system who, if he spoke any truth whatsoever, he would be history in the minds of the people. His listeners or his followers or his brainwashed minions would be like, what happened to Michael? Oh, what happened? Yeah. You speak the truth, you get, worse things can happen. What happened to John F. Kennedy? Because he understood it on such an integral way, such a deep understanding of what it was. And I think maybe his father was filling him with some of this information too. You can't really look at this. I mean, guys from the there was a clip from the 1960s. A lot of people always post it with predictions from a guy connected to the John Birch Society, basically pointing out all the different things that were to be, things that were happening now, and things that this country would turn into in the future. And indeed, these things have happened. These events, this destruction of our culture. Last night, I sat there and thought to myself, should I? Okay, somebody just posted Tim Burton up there. Burton was involved in the creation of Abraham Lincoln, the Vampire Hunter. And it was interesting. But it was also, there were things that were in there that obviously had a deeper meaning. That the people that he was really fighting were vampires in the Civil War. The vampires loved slavery because it was an unlimited supply of blood for them. And of course, or at least what they say about Lincoln is that he was against slavery, but our history has been so bastardized that we don't know what is real anymore. So we have Hollywood there to show us what's real. And of course, there was the Abraham Lincoln movie that just was out. What was that? Was that what's his face? The Jewish director. I forget who it was. I haven't really thought about it too much, but I think it was. I mean, exactly. I didn't see Coraline, but there are some weird things going on. I heard something just recently that there's all this propaganda in children's cartoons. So I put the Cartoon Network on. Just started watching it in the morning to check out some of these shows. And sure enough, strategically placed, and maybe not even strategically placed. It's not even hidden anymore. You hear the UN, you hear UN propaganda, you hear information that is there to indoctrinate the young people of this country through cartoons on that demon lying machine, that lying machine known as the television set. Your children are learning the information about the what's going to be in the future. The UN is going to run everything, just like the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games. Watch that. And I mean, really, really blatant Agenda 21, United Nations goals for our society, breaking it down into districts, 12 divisions. And then they take it the next level where they choose children of all different ages, 2 from each district, and then they fight to the death. And it was pretty brutal. And then what do you see? You see, if you go to Borders, if you go to all these different bookstores, you see nothing but propaganda for the Hunger Games. Now, the woman who created the books, the author of these books, says that ultimately it is anti-globalist. That in the long run it's going to be, because you can obviously see how brutal it is, and that these elite that live in these Oz type cities SpongeBob. They live in these Oz type cities where and people such as the leading lady, Jennifer, the next Hollywood piece of meat that's out there, co-star in a pretty good movie, the Silver Linings Playbook. Not bad. Not bad. And it also attacked the drugging or the over-drugging of people in a number of different times. I'm not taking those drugs anymore. You know, basically any number of times. So it's like anytime you hear that, it's like, that's a good thing. But it's strategic. It's all strategic. Here and there in all these different Hollywood movies. And as I said, our culture, the Hunger Games, is ultimately, the woman said that it was going to be an anti-globalist or like against dictatorship. But these children, these families live in Christ. When you saw it, it was almost as if they lived in the Old West. Not any clean clothes, hardly. Just compared to the elites that they eventually go to see and that have them kill each other for entertainment, you have what the United Nations envisions for the world, where you get 5 gallons of water a day to 5 gallons of water a day to wash and drink. It can be done. It can be done, but does it need to be done? You know, where's the desalinization plants in this country? Like the one down in Aruba. When I went to Aruba a number of years ago, there was a desalinization plant there. Where's that here? If the waters through global warming are going to rise so far above our heads to kill us and destroy, America, where's all the desalinization plants to take water, make more water? Now, if you believe the, things that went on with the Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory, they had the water conspiracy episode where they were coming in, tankers were coming in and taking water from the Great Lakes and shipping it, to other areas of the world to eventually create a water crisis. You've already been flim-flammed into believing that there's not enough oil and that there's not enough this and that there's not enough that. Lying about scarce resources so that they can create markets for it. It was like $8 for one of those huge Evian water bottles down in Aruba. Probably 10 or 11 now for 1.5 liters, I believe. 45 ounces or something. But at the same time, when I was down there, I had some pretty extreme gastrointestinal things going on. But I had some of the best steak that I've ever had in my life, that I cooked myself on a stone that was just incredibly, incredibly hot. I ordered it, and then I was like, I never told our waitress whether I wanted it a medium or whatever. I wasn't even asked. And then when it came she was like, you'll see. It was called the La Petite. I think it was called the La Petite Cafe or something. But they had some of the best food. They had some of the best sour cream. The milk, everything down there tasted more natural than anything that we get here in Nightmerica. So if you don't think that your news is scripted and your food is scripted and your lives are scripted, then you don't understand evil. I don't understand evil, but I know it exists. And you do too. It's out there. And it wants you and your families it wants bad things for you and your families. And there's all kinds of conspiracies out there about it. We talk about religion, how religion is divide and conquer, how religion is there to control people. A lot of people say, hey, this is a Jewish conspiracy. This is Jewish power that controls the world. Well, let's take a look at religion. Let's take a look at what we know about religion. The Jewish people are taught that they're better than everyone else. And they're taught that anyone who is not Jewish is not even human. Now, maybe a lot of the Jewish people don't realize that this is what their holy book, the Talmud, says. It also, in a number of these pieces of literature, it says that if any non-Jew is to read the Talmud, that he should be killed. Or this animal, whatever animal or non-Jew reads this, should be killed. Why do you think that if somebody reads that book that they would want this person killed? See, religion, I denounce all of it. If you have faith and it's your whatever you want to do, I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm going to say that's what this person or this group of people, they want to do. This is what they want to believe. This is what they've been taught to believe. If it gets you through the day, if it gets you through the night to believe that there's a man in the sky, there's a man in the sky who watches everything you do and will judge you in the end, then that's fine. But I denounce it all. I denounce it all. Catholics, Catholicism, Judaism, Buddhism, all of it. You can flush it down humanity's toilet bowl. You can flush it down humanity's hopper. You can flush it down the hopper. I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of it. And if it turns out that I'm wrong and I get judged at the end, all right, I get judged at the end and somebody says, you didn't believe. And I'm going to say, can you friggin' blame me? Can you really blame me for not believing in something so absurd and something that people have bastardized for so long? Religion? Are you kidding me? That's what I say. Really, really, I'm being judged because this experiment that the big guy put together, it turned out to be such a shithole. I've seen that Matrix clip with Will Ferrell. That's funny stuff. That's funny stuff. Let me see if I can play it here for people. Come on, computer.
Inherent to the programming of the Matrix. Although the transport process has altered your consciousness, you irrevocably remain human. Ergo, concordantly, vis-a-vis. You know what? I have no idea what the hell I'm saying. I just thought it would make me sound cool. You haven't answered my question. I'm feeling a little vulnerable right now, so you just need to chill out. Can you do that? I appreciate that. Thank you. Completely pussy-whipped. Bullshit. Watch the sass, Captain Sassy Pants. You haven't answered my question. Yes, I did. You see, you haven't answered. You just need to let me talk. Why am I here? You shut up. You won't let it. No, you won't let it! I'm the one who talks! Okay, mouth shut! Ears open! You haven't. Ergo, open your yapper one more time, and I'm gonna architect a world of pain all over your candy ass! Ergo! Vis-a-vis! Concordantly! I don't usually like to use my big voice. There are 2 doors. What up, G? You can handle it. The mini door is for Muffin to go out and piddle. What? Hey. No. You are bizarre. If I were you. Bite your tongue. Bite it. I would hope that we don't meet again. Why'd you say that? I told you to shut up. I told you to shut up!
That was, thank you for Iota for posting that in there. Yeah, just go to YouTube, type in Will, W-I-L, the architect, Ferrell, and you'll find it. Anybody else have any funny clips or anything that they want to play on here? Providing it's not too... Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, if you want to put, if you want me to play a clip or something, just post it in the chat. Unless it's really visual and people need to, or just go ahead and post it in there or whatever. So I'm like, really? You're going to judge me after all these scumbags and pieces of human filth and garbage have totally bastardized every area of religion, every scripture, everything that they told the Jews that they're the greatest thing that has ever been, and caused an extreme rift in society. I mean, if that's not divide and conquer on a grand scale, I don't know what is. Oh, yeah, by the way, you're better than everyone else. God loves you, but everyone else who's not you or your group of people is a filthy, slimy animal beast. Got it? Cool. Just repeat that at the commencement ceremony and you'll pass. It's cool. I denounce the religions. I denounce it. I will say it straight up to anyone, and I don't care what they think anymore. It's too late in the game to give a shit about how people are feeling. How you make me feel. How that made me feel. Oh, I'm so sad because you said that there's no God. Really? Are you so sad? Deal with it. Because let me tell you something. The atrocities that are going on in this world, if there was some kind of benevolent power out there, it's overdue. And I'll be the first one to say, hey, Jesus, when he comes back, or if he, if this is all, if I'm wrong and all this stuff happens and Jesus comes back, man, I'll be the first one to be like, dude, you are a total badass. Thank you for saving all of us. If you want to kill me because I didn't believe in you, then go ahead and kill me. Smite me. But no one can be blamed for not believing. Faith is just another way of saying, have faith that, that they're going to stop killing us. Have faith that one day we'll be able to practice medical freedom. Have faith that one day we'll be able to go outside and not have aerosol particulates sprayed all over us and breathe in, and God only knows what the hell it's doing. And it might not be doing anything. It might just be a total manipulation. And that the most damaging thing to you is, washing your hands with pesticide soap, and how, it's okay to drink Corexit, gallons of it a day. It's very good for you. I'm going to tend to believe that, and not just because of the industry, the spin on conspiracy. I believe that it's just as damaging to. It's damaging to believe everything that you hear, but it's also damaging to dismiss things that, I think a lot of people can agree out there that dismissing conspiracy theories and then is just as bad as believing everything you hear. I'm going to go ahead and say that there was a breakthrough, a victory, a couple weeks ago. I never even, let's see, I never really covered it. Let me see. Let's see. Very controversial. Let's see. Type bankers in there. That'll probably get me what I want. Okay, here we go. Well, let's see. No. Is that the one? Is that the one? So Matt Taibbi is a contributing editor for Rolling Stone. He's the author of 5 books and a winner of the National Magazine Award for commentary. All right. And if you want to send him an email and thank him for what he did, it's TAIBBI media at yahoo.com. And I'm going to see if I can find it, because he's been writing about the financial crisis for a while now. And here it is. As we get closer, as we get further down the road, we are going to see that, and people out there that denied what was going on are now going to start believing, because it's going to get too blatant that all of this stuff is going on. The rigging of everything by the global crime syndicate, by the global bankers. All right. And of course, everything is rigged. The biggest price fixing scandal ever. The Illuminati were amateurs. The second huge financial scandal of the year reveals the real international conspiracy. There's no price the big banks can't fix. So at this point, Taibbi has, on some level, figured it out. All right? And it starts with, and I'll read a little bit of it, conspiracy theorists of the world, believers in the hidden hands of the Rothschilds and the Masons and the Illuminati, we skeptics, and that was Taibbi, a skeptic, owe you an apology. You were right. The players may be a little different, but your basic premise is correct. The world is a rigged game, and it's been since the very beginning. Not just recently. This has been a rigged game since, and even before 1913, the Federal Reserve Act. The world is a rigged game. We found this out in recent months when a series of related corruption stories spilled out of the financial sector. suggesting the world's largest banks may be fixing the prices of, well, just about everything. You may have heard about the LIBOR scandal, in which at least 3, and perhaps as many as 16, of the name brand too big to fail banks have been manipulating global interest rates, in the process messing around with the prices of upwards of $500 trillion worth of financial instruments. When that sprawling con burst into the public view last year, it was easily the biggest financial scandal in history. MIT professor Andrew Lo, that's Andrew L.O., even said it dwarfs by orders of magnitude any financial scam in the history of markets. That was bad enough, but now LIBOR may have a twin brother. Word has leaked out that the London-based firm ICAP, the world's largest broker of interest rate swaps, is being investigated by American authorities. Yeah, right. But sometimes these processes have to go through to make it look like the system is legitimate when it's completely and totally criminal. American authorities for behavior that sounds eerily reminiscent of the LIBOR mess. Regulators are looking into whether or not a small group of brokers at ICAP may have worked with up to 15 of the world's largest banks to manipulate ISDA fix, a benchmark number used around the world to calculate the prices of interest rate swaps. All right? And so there's a lot of more damning information throughout this article. If true, that would leave us living in an era of undisguised real-world conspiracy in which the prices of currencies, commodities like gold and silver, even interest rates and the value of money itself can be and made already have been dictated from above, and those who are doing it can get away with it. Forget the Illuminati. This is the real thing, and it's no secret. You can stare right at it anytime you want. Okay. So the Illuminati, everybody's like, oh, forget the Illuminati, forget this, forget that. They say it's the Jesuits, it's this, it's the Jews. It's, it's really, really powerful people who had this exact thing in mind for America and the rest of the world from the onset, controlling the issuance of money. And a good portion of them are Jewish. So, Goldman Sachs, he's Blank Fine's doing God's work. I mean, when's this all going to end? I mean, when, what? Hello. I denounce all religion. I denounce anyone who thinks they're better than anyone else. And, we just part of the learning process, I guess, right? Because it's just part of the learning process. So Taibbi, getting it done with his article on some level, and I'm sure that he's going to go into it in more detail. Let's hope that he is safe, because whenever you start spitting this stuff out,
Hey there, can you hear me? Hello there. All right, you got a free moment here. Pausing the old program that I'm playing for you here. Hopefully things will go a little bit smoother here. Hopefully. Let's see here. Let me know if you can hear me. This is live now here, 11:06. Nah, I just got some things going on, some responsibilities that require me to, jump off. It just requires me to, throw Mama from the train, if you know what I'm saying. You lied to me. So anyway, it's it's all fascinating. Trump's in there. He won. A lot of people were like, "Oh, how did this happen?" And I think that it's exactly the way it was supposed to happen. I think that the goal is to create as much of a nightmarish scenario as possible, and you've got MoveOn.org, you got Soros doing all these horrific things. Russia, I actually saw a report saying that they've put in like some kind of arrest, like, take this piece of shit down. Help us take this piece of shit down. I don't know if somebody else heard that. Let me see. So, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but was it ever supposed to? Was it ever supposed to make any fucking sense? I don't think it was. So a lot of these people, the swamp evidently Trump is draining the swamp known as DC into his cabinet. I don't really have a problem with Jeff Sessions so much because I think that he may be or have some, I guess it's between the people who don't want to see America collapse completely and the people that are trying to make it collapse. Is there a difference? Is there something that's going to change, what the path that America is on, which is, financial collapse? And can you hold on a second, please? I'll be back. Give me one moment.
You can best bet that you have that you've ruffled somebody's feathers in some way, shape, or form. All right, so I'm going to go here to a song. This is called "The Noise." This is Payday Monsanto.
Oh, the noise. Oh, the noise. Noise. That's what I think it is. That's one thing he I got sound to make you wanna go and call the cops. I don't care about the clicks or the pops. I make you scared of dicks more than blocks. You get drummer bass, psyop, mind control. Spray your third eye with black paint, blind your soul. Throw devils in ditches, leave them confined to holes. I don't like to say things, but we'll harvest your organs of butchers and bacon. Aristocrats confused with masters and pay kings. My name's among the bells that they ring. Ding dong, ding dong. No, 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 no. That's what they say when it's time to pay. Like Rustin Martin calls, make the hair turn gray. Then they try to play it off like Mr. Burley. Gambling on ass for some past the graveyard. It's hard to come to grips with the fact you a slave dog. When you make such an emotional investment and played hard. Well, guess what? I'm not like them.
Yeah, back. All right, then. All right, so the draining of the swamp, you got these guys, they were talking about this Breitbart and how quite possibly that it's a, an operation, one of those operations, one of those intelligence agencies from the Middle East, that could very well be because there was pictures of Andrew Breitbart and others hanging out with the bad guys from the Middle East, the ones that say that they are but really are not. And so it's quite possible that, Breitbart's not even dead, right? I don't believe that he's really. I don't believe anything that these people say anymore, honestly. And so let's see what's going on over there. Interact. How's everybody doing there in the chat room? We've got Maddie. Morning. Baconator. Sup. Otto. Sup. 8 Hawks. Duff. We've got the Road Dog in there. He probably still hates me. But welcome. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Road. You weren't evidently you weren't listening from the beginning. Because what the hell was it? It was more like 5 minutes in or so, and then I got pulled away. So of course everybody is saying, the looking. It's the same thing. It's the same thing when Obama in there. They were like, they're hoping for Obama to fail. We're hoping the Republicans are hoping that Obama will fail. Well, they're saying the same thing now that they're hoping that Trump fails. Okay, you've got a lot of people in here that are very questionable to the whole thing. And you know what? Nobody. Actually, there are people out there that probably want things to go well, maybe more well than I want them to be. But I will say nobody out there wants, more of a better times, more of a better times. I'm speaking very well today. I want to see good things happen, but what we're seeing here is that there's still all these draconian things that are happening. I mean, Greg was saying that one positive thing was that Trump said something about, we're going to look into the pharmaceutical companies because we want them to, we would like them to stop causing autism or some shit in that realm. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get Greg to see if he's available. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple things there. Hey, did you get my text this morning?
Yeah, I did. I slept late. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. Are you available to hang out for the next 45 minutes or what?
Yeah.
All right, I'll pull you in on Skype.
Okay.
All right, thanks. All right, so we're gonna get Greg. Oh, there he is. When did he message me? Not too long ago. All right, I'm going to bring Greg in here, and I'm going to let him know that I might jump off, so he might. Hey, Greg. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. You there?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? All right,
good. How are you?
Good. I didn't even notice. When did you message me in Skype? Because I didn't. I usually look down and I was looking over to see if either you or Clint would message me, and I didn't see. I didn't see a notification on my Mac, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway,
it wasn't that long ago.
I'm torn between a couple of things that are going on. But what I was hoping today was, if something happens and then I have to kind of jump off the line, that you can, maybe just be like, hey, this is Greg and this is my take or something. But yeah, obviously I want to be on air. I was hoping to get some kind of assistance today, just in case I had to jump off the line or something. But I was playing like an old show from 1947.
Oh yeah.
And people that got on late were like, what's going on here? Where's Shali? There we go. Okay. And of course, it just came through on my phone that there's a crazy delay. I just got your yo on my phone. So anyway, what's the deal with I know that you've been paying a lot of attention to this. Trump's taking some. He's taking a lot of structural damage. We heard back when Obama got was president-elect that the Republicans want him to fail, so they're doing all these kinds of things to make him fail. And of course, they're saying that about Trump now.
Yeah, but they mean it this time.
They mean it this time?
Yeah. That was all part of the game. That was part of the cover, because he's one of the he's a Dunham. I think he's got more of a. I think he has a bigger role than Trump has. Trump's an outsider. Trump was the dupe that was supposed to lose to bring about it was the Barbaros election, right? Just like I've said. We don't know about Barbaros. Barbaros was the criminal and the thief that was people of Israel. The Israelites were given a choice to release Jesus or Barbaros, and they chose Barbaros. And he condemned them for all time, the Jewish people, or the Israelis, I should say, the Israelites.
And I like the optimistic approach. Your optimistic approach. It gives me. I listen to Clint. I listen to you. I listen to a number of different people. And I like to have an optimistic spin on things. You've been very.
Let me tell you something that happened this week. You have to pay very close attention to when it comes to people saying, "Oh, it's all the same thing."
Right.
Now, $12 trillion in bonds are going to need to roll over by March of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
The Fed is going to raise interest rates next month, probably by more than 25 basis points, probably 50, just to kind of make the point. The system, per se, if Trump was with them, the system would be supporting him, or the system's going against him. And he stated that they would, very nonchalantly, that they would create as far as his infrastructure projects and the issue with the bonds, that they would create the infrastructure bank. And the infrastructure bank would have actual monies like greenbacks during the Civil War with Abraham Lincoln would be issued from the Treasury, not the Federal Reserve, that would buy up the toxic assets, prevent the collapse, and we actually could be coming into boom economic times.
I like the sound of that.
For the establishment, that represents a clear present danger because they are profiting greatly from this, from this looting and piracy that they put upon us. That went into effect back in 1971, and they have basically stolen the wealth of the people.
Mm-hmm.
They do it quite openly, and he is coming in and representing a major shift from that. Again, we have to wait and see. He's never been there before. He doesn't have a track record to run on, other than he's a business guy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people he's brash. He's all that. Well, he is an alpha. An alpha male,
right?
Kind of like a jock. And so they can be brash and rude and overconfident and all those things and there's a point to that. But sometimes you need those kind of people who can at least humble themselves and realize that this country, as the world, has a tremendous amount of problems. I don't think that they were anticipating or calculating that he would win this because they figured there's no way he's going to motivate enough people to overcome the fraud built into the cake. Such as all the dead people that voted, all of the illegal aliens that voted. And that's why they very quickly put that meme out that Hillary won the popular vote. And there's no way she won the popular vote. And just logic and reason dictate that. There were probably 15 million fraudulent votes cast across the nation.
Even Melonhead Jones was saying that, dead people were voting and a lot of election fraud to the tune of somewhere in between 6 and 12 million. So
Yeah, so and it was a repudiation upon, on the barbarous vote. They would have loved to have had her actually win the popular vote so they can actually gloat themselves and say, okay, now you can be condemned. And I think this was more of a test. It was a beta test more than anything else. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We don't know if Trump's involved in all of the occultic rituals and all those things. There's rumors that they are, but there hasn't been any real evidence. I mean, they've said that he's flown on Epstein's plane, but there isn't any, if he did it once, I can see that people just go back to his being asked about Epstein. He said, oh, no, he's a great guy. Well, you have to understand he's not going to go, he's also a very powerful guy, so he's not going to say anything negative about it.
Yeah. I don't know. But, Bill Clinton's tied to him, and so many other people are tied to this Epstein guy. And I don't know. It just does not give me a good feeling about. I mean, there's some really, really questionable photos of him and his daughter. I don't know if you ever saw those. Just very, very weirdly provocative with him and his daughter, like when she was a teenager, just kind of like standing there taking pictures, and it just seemed very weird, it just seemed very weird.
I agree. There are some very, strange photographs, but she's never come forward. He doesn't have pictures like that with anybody else.
I'd like to come forward about my father, Donald Trump.
Well,
God, I can't get over how incredible she looks. She's just an incredible looking person in her personhood.
I don't know. What we can't do is, without any real evidence of anything, make accusations that people are not something, especially when it comes to when you're making that accusation about pedophilia, because to me that's one of the most serious crimes that one can be involved in. So I'm not saying he isn't. Would it surprise me if he was? No. But we don't know that for sure yet. We can only speculate. So on the other hand, with the Pizzagate and the WikiLeaks that have come out, and now that they have found that there's embedded code in many of the photographs, like the photographs of Antarctica, that were released on WikiLeaks, things could start to get very interesting. And I, for one, would like to see I'd like to see a live interview with Julian Assange. Like, where is he? He hasn't been seen in a while. So
yeah.
Just to verify and validate everything. But in the meantime, at least we're taking things in the right direction, somewhat. Can it be a little bit better? Yes, but everything in baby steps.
Right.
So I don't think it's time to push the panic button. We might be witnessing actually something that could be very good for us, but I'm not saying it is.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have the optimistic spin on it. I am the pessimist. I'm saying that no matter what, if he's trying to do well, they will go against him, and if he's not trying to do what is right for the United States corporation, then he will make it look like he's trying, and then of course the excuses will be that I'm running into resistance on this, on that. Just the same thing. Like, people think that Obama was not able to get some of these things through that he wanted to because the Republicans are the worst form of life on the planet, and that's what your liberal, democratic, fucking worthless piece of human garbage thinks out there, because they can't think for themselves. We could be in a big fucking bind, man.
Yeah.
Because they're in control, like Clint says. This is their creation, and they do what they want with their creation, and we are just commoners. And I don't know. I'm hoping you're right.
Yeah, we are commoners. We don't make the rules. They are the aristocracy, and the aristocracy is not uniform. There are some who look at it more like as a kind of as a monarchy, where they have to be good to their subjects, fair to their subjects. And then there's the piracy, which believes that they can just have psychological warfare against commoners. I think the pirates have been in charge for so long that we've forgotten what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Maybe Trump is on that side that says we have to stop this, because remember we outnumber them 10 million to 1.
Right.
I mean, they just have to anger us enough, and their hubris and their arrogance allows them to think that they don't have to worry about the anger and the uprising anymore because of things like television and the entertainment industry and even the internet they gave us, that they're allowed to put so much disinformation out that they can propagandize us literally without end. And this election could have been, a refutation of that. Again, we have to wait and see. I'm going to play it the optimistic side because I'm not a doom and gloomer kind of guy.
Right.
I never have been. Can't go through life that way. It's too,
right.
Make a miserable.
I've learned the hard way. I live in.
Now think of it like at this point of view. Who are threatened by? Who are most threatened by? A period of prosperity in the country right now. A lot of people on the right are.
Right.
Okay, but especially in the these conspiracy industry people, the ones that have been promoting all of these things. Their audience are generally unhappy, unemployed. Particularly men who have been stuck at home. They can't go and find a woman because they don't have any money. They live in their mother's basement, that kind of thing. Well, what if that changes? What if we go back to a point where you can find good jobs, you make good money again? Okay, and you don't have to abuse your fellow man to do it. You can open up a business, a restaurant, landscaping company, whatever it might be, easily. You get to keep most of what you earn. It's fair. You can actually live a good life. Now you create your own job. You got a lot of happy people out there doing that. And who are going to suffer? All the people that are claiming the sky is falling. So I'd rather be on the happy side. That's just my opinion.
Right.
Understanding what the world is. I'm not burying my head in the sand. We've talked about this. We know who these people are, but it requires a constant vigilance to monitor them.
Right.
Maybe now, with what we're seeing around the world, because it's not just happening here in the United States, it's now happening all over the world. I don't see the powers to be even needing to create a scenario like this for them to, create a dialectic move so they can get more of what they want. I think they're taking a step backwards. I think they're greatly afraid right now that people are going to become Christ-like and simply say, we're not following you anymore.
Right.
You either cut the crap, otherwise we won't produce for you anymore. And if you think you can bring about your driverless cars and your robots and all that stuff, remember who makes your food, flies your planes, does your gardening and your landscaping. You're not going to get away with it. Let's put it that way. And I think that's what they fear. The aristocracy fears the most. Where is it going to go now?
Well, you've got so much of the unrest that's going on out there with the in the cities with the people, the young people. That I do believe that there is definitely a percentage of them that are disenfranchised and everything, and then of course there's the provocateurs. So what choice?
Utility. It's great for the insurance companies. It's great. They're trying to pull it off as public relations. I don't think it's working for them. If anything, it's simply identifying the people that need to be purged from the system, which, I believe that's coming.
Right.
We have to identify the idiots, because if we are going to progress forward, you've got to get rid of these people. So just to find out who they are first.
Yeah. You're going to find out who these
And it does show just how dumb, how useful. I mean, Clint is totally right. If you're going to protest this election, why are you protesting it in, Chicago, New York, LA, San Francisco, wherever, Portland, Oregon? That's not accomplishing anything. He's president of the United States, so you better, get your act together and go protest where it needs to be protested, and that's over in Washington, D.C. But that will never happen. They'll do one big protest around the inauguration in January, but even that's going to be held back. And then I think he's got the support of a lot of people that want to see, a change. And there's a tremendous amount of possibilities and a tremendous amount of dangers in everything that's going on in the world right now. Pretty exciting time, to be honest with you. But I can tell you this: if he is successful at launching a what he calls the infrastructure bank, and they use that to prevent the bond market, so shoring up the bond market, and then using that to develop the infrastructure of the United States, we are going to come into a period where the economy is going to roar.
Right.
And then cutting the taxes and allowing the monies to come back in. Listen, there are going to be issues because of this system that we've been dealing with here, and it has to be unwound. It can't be unwound overnight, so it's going to take a number of years to do it. But we were facing literally these people that brought us to the precipice of completely going off the cliff where everything shuts down. And now it doesn't quite have to happen like that. It would, we've been through this before. It's not the first time that debts have been written up to a point where they seemed almost insurmountable for a nation to handle it. So those parts, the banks are the ones really on the lurch because of the derivatives and the counter bets, and those are going to fall apart, and that's in the quadrillions. That can never be repaid. We can actually pay back over the next 30 years. We can pay back a $20 trillion debt.
But
we have to get away from
wipe it. Isn't there a point where they just you think that they plan on just wiping out all this debt?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They could wipe out a good portion of it because it's based on nothing but thin air. So they can revalue the debt. And remember, we call inflation is just interest owed on all borrowed money previous. Inflation greater than previous inflation to its maximum potential. So since 1913, a loaf of bread cost 5 cents. Today, what is it? $3.50. Right? Let's say it's $3.50.
If you want a good loaf.
Okay.
Yeah, about $3.50. Something without high fructose corn syrup or some nasty shit in it. Yeah, but you could probably get some Stroman or some of that, the regular stuff for maybe about $2. I think so. Loaf of bread, $2.
Okay, so on a $2 loaf of bread today, currently $1.95 is interest on all previously created debt to this point since 1913. Reality, the loaf of bread still only costs a nickel. Okay, you're just paying interest on the previously created debt. So when you start forgiving the debt and start wiping a good portion of that out, you're also going to be bringing price points down. Well, they call that deflation, but deflation is very good for us. It's bad for the people like Warren Buffett, the pirates and the bullshit artists like him and Bill Gates and the rest of them. right? But I have no sympathy for them. Bring those fuckers down. You know, we're not the aristocrat class. I'm a commoner. Hey, you're a commoner. We aristocrats, we wouldn't be having this conversation on the internet right now. We wouldn't be allowed. So I'm playing for the commoners team. This is what's good for us. Now, if Trump gets us there, great. If he doesn't, we have to keep on trying. But I think that he's, like a lot of people, you know, they're asking themselves, hey, I got kids, I got grandkids. He's got a 10-year-old son, remember? Does he want to see his children suffer? Especially when, you know, it's, who's it benefiting? Well, that's dumb. Mm-hmm. But again, these are just speculations on my part. I'm not claiming to know anything or anybody or anything. So it could all turn out to be completely wrong from how I'm seeing it, but maybe not. We just, that's the fun part. We just have to speculate and, you know, keep our eyes on the prize, so to speak, and never quit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's all we can do. You know, we're not in control. And, you know, when we, you know, when
we are, remember, I mean, we are in control to the point where they use the voting system. All right. Even though we don't elect the president, we elect electors, right? We are the fuel source. This is not a top-down system. It's a bottom-up system. We provide the energy that provides them their power. So it's part of that symbiotic, occultic, or Kabbalic system that they follow, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they don't do anything to us without putting out an offer and getting our acceptance. And that's all this election was just an offer to obtain an acceptance to our demise. Well, we didn't accept it. Now what? Well, it means that years of propaganda, all the years of preparation to bring us to the doorstep where they could, you know, rain down death upon humanity and do it and say, I wash my hands, just like Pilate did when he washed his hands of the responsibility of crucifying Jesus. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. But unlike the Israelites, we didn't say barbarous. Whoa, bring us Hillary. We want Hillary. No, we went the opposite way. Now what do they do? Now they got to go and almost, I wouldn't say start over, but now they have to, now the genie's out of the bag. Now they can lose their grip. Then they come out and make the biggest bonehead move this past week, and they, with Google and Facebook and the rest, with the fake news stuff. Have you ever strategist?
When they're actually the fake news,
right? All it did, it didn't help their cause. All it did was shine the light upon them, and now everybody's talking about, well, if you're going to ban fake news, you've got to ban CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, MSNBC, because about 60% of the stuff they report is absolute total bullshit.
Well, it's funny because I'm sitting there and I'm watching a clip from Fox News. It was Tucker Carlson, and then this Tucker Carlson has his own news agency. Spends some time on Fox on the weekend. Now, of course, he's got his own program. Now, he was on with Alex Jones and knows Matt Drudge. So they spend, well, I'm not going to say he and Melonhead spend a lot of time together, but I think that Carlson and Drudge hang out with each other, probably, go shooting or whatever. And so he has this one woman on there, and they're obviously, you've got your Democratic strategist, this one girl that's got the most annoying fucking voice, and I'll send it to you. She's got the most annoying fucking voice that you ever want to hear out of someone. I mean, top fucking 10 for absolutely. And then so she's sitting there saying, how long are we going to let Alex Jones do this and then put this and all that stuff out? And then you just kind of saw Tucker Carlson. He was like, I was on his show one time. Like, I spoke with him one time. I agreed with what he said, except for the, some of the deeper shit that he couldn't actually agree to, or it would destroy his fake news persona if he agreed that, that there were really, really awful things going on that were not, what the media said it was. Mm-hmm. And so it just kind of went on, and then the one, he's like, where do we stop? I mean, like, who are you to say, or who are these people to say what is fake news, what is and what is not fake?
Well, can I tell you something about, first off, InfoWars is not news.
Right.
InfoWars is entertainment, and Alex Jones follows what they call the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Right. 80% of what he says is true. 20% is total, utter bullshit.
And whenever I do listen, that 80-20 is in my mind all the time. I mean, a lot of people, you one of many, pointed out that, he's that's who he is. And he is a conspindustry guy. He sells a lot of stuff, and he's making a boatload of money. And now you'll hear him say things like during election night. Who did I tell you? I had Fox News on one thing, and then I was looking at Melonhead and his crew, and just kind of get a feel. But I tune in. Bless you. I tune in knowing that who he is and where, and I know for a fact that he's part of the family, for sure. And he mentioned just recently, I come from a long line of Joneses, and I said, which is part of the bloodline. So I just fill it in the blank there. Mm-hmm. And so that's why he is doing what he's doing, because he is part of the families. He is the people. I mean, you could really say, with all the information that we've gotten from Clint over the last couple of years, Jones is the people, just like Obama is the people. The Dunhams or whatever, Dunhams are tied to, I'm not sure which founding father, but they totally are.
The founding father to the state of Indiana.
Founding fathers
means that he's involved in. They're involved in.
These guys are Masons, right? These guys are Masons.
Say that again.
There could have been a Dunham who signed, the Constitution. I don't know. I could be wrong. I guess I should know that. There goes my credit.
It doesn't matter that he did, because the Indiana did not become a state until 1816.
Ah.
So they wouldn't be on the, the territory had not been claimed yet, or even issued as a state. It was that the Dunhams had gone in and captured for themselves, so to speak. Same thing with Oklahoma. It's two states that the Dunham aristocracy has been involved in.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Indeed.
But again, their wealth is totally dependent upon the workings of the commoners.
And so, I kind of agree to a certain extent with that, but I just think that these upper echelon people, they have everything that they need. Look at fucking George Jetson had a robot made. Okay, they probably have it. They got the Roomba that vacuums the floor. They don't need someone. They don't need the lady on the Family Guy. The Hispanic lady that goes, no. They have somebody that can vacuum the floor. I'm hoping, and I think you're being optimistic, which is good, saying that they still need us around to fly the planes, to do this, to do that. And I'm more pessimistic, saying that I think that they're trying to cover all those bases.
I think they would like to be able to cover the bases, but we're not there yet.
Who's going to do the dishes?
Right.
I know people that don't do dishes. I do. I love doing dishes. I know people that don't do dishes. They just throw dishes in the sink, and they're like, "I got a dishwasher that uses 120 volts of electricity. If you want to wash the dishes, slave, then just go ahead and do it." I'm like, I love it. I love washing the dishes. It's cathartic. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all right.
I love soap.
It's good for your hands.
I love how the soap gets all soapy. And it dishes. It's like I look at a coffee cup and I'm like, look what I just did. I cleaned that coffee ring that was in there for a week because I left it in there for a week. And I cleaned it out and I'm like, hey, look at that. It's gone now. And now I can put it back in the cabinet.
There you go. and you get soft, clean hands in the process.
I get soft, clean hands. I look at this. I go to Whole Foods and I get that stuff, and then I go into work and I see like Dawn sitting there, right? And it's this nice little package thing and like a little sunrise there. Meanwhile, there's fucking pesticides in there. Pesticides in all this triclosan antibacterial stuff that people are just washing themselves with.
Mm-hmm.
Day and night, they're just scrubbing their bodies with this pesticide, wondering why, and all these toxic materials. But that's another show. But I like to do dishes, and
well, hey,
I will wash dishes for Donald.
Wash dishes for Donald Trump.
I'm gonna wash dishes for Donald Trump, and I just say, please don't kill me. I'll wash dishes. And then it'd be like, how do I know that you're going to wash the dishes the way my family needs them washed? Ivanka likes her china, cleaned with 300-400 degree temperature water. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't provide that, but I'll wash the dishes. So I hope you're right. I hope that they're sitting there thinking that. But we have become a service economy, right? So there's that, right? We have a certain, that we're not really making anything in here. I would like to see things being made,
right?
Even if it's just like, dishes, vomit bags, like things that obviously will need more and more of medical stuff because there's just more and more people that are just dropping dead on a daily basis or getting sick. Poor Jack lost his fight against lymphoma last Saturday. That's why Clint sat in for me, and little Jackie, over the summer got a tumor, and less than 6 months later, he died. So dogs dying of lymphoma. I don't know that I can. I don't know that I can be optimistic about things when
something in the dog food that they're made in China, right?
Well, we try to. We think we're getting a good dog food, but we don't know whether it's GMO or not. We know that pesticides and things like that play a huge role in a lot of these things. So I don't know. It's just it's weird. Having a pet for a number of years, and then the next thing you know, you come home and he's not there. He's not.
They're like a member of the family. Yeah, you gotta love a dog.
And he's not there saying, "Let me out, fatso, and give me something to eat." So I take him back now, even if like I walked in the door and then he like flew through the air and clenched onto my neck, I'd be like, at least he'd be around and I'd have, I could do battle with him. Like Kato and the Pink Panther. But, So, again, I hope that things are moving in the right direction. You're thinking optimistically, but at the same time, you're reserving, what these people are made of, and what they're trying to do. And, we'll just hope that things start moving in the right direction, because if the economy gets worse, we're going to have roving bands of unemployed people who hate Donald Trump and want to burn America to the ground. I mean, you heard that one woman; she was like, "There'll be casualties on both sides." I mean, 17 woman. Just absolutely saying that, people are going to die. That's what's wild. It's wild. And that's the case. That shit's going to go down. But, I don't know that I want to hear it from, some I don't know. She looked like she might have been Latino or of Mexican heritage. And there she is with a flag saying that people are going to die, that people have to die to get shit done. And it's like,
well, that's what these are revolutionaries. These are, people that are they're the cancer cell to the body politic, so to speak. And they have been coerced by an agenda and a philosophy that is bankrupt. And they're like any wounded animal, they're going to lash out. And they think that they can protect themselves and protect their turf and their sphere of influence, which is diminishing, not increasing. And now they're marginalizing themselves. Now they're looking flat out ridiculous, like what we talked about with the fake stories.
Yeah.
Now, with the media coming out and saying, well, these things are fake news. Well, hold on a second here. Now, because you've done that, now everybody's looking at all the fake stories they've published, and now they have to scramble because they brought that upon themselves. And it was only a move it was just a move about being desperate. I mean, you take like Breitbart and all that. There's a lot that I disagree with these guys on, but I'm all for, we had to shake the system up.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm sorry, I don't subscribe to like Trump was a planned, that he was brought to the table to win. He was brought to the table to be the loser patsy. They never thought he had a chance, especially with the entire media apparatus going against him. They were. I saw. They were. The odds of him winning before the election were. Hillary had a 92% chance of winning, and they only gave him an 8% chance of winning.
Right, yeah.
And yet, while they were saying that, Trump is pulling 30,000 people at his rallies, and Hillary Clinton can barely get 200.
Yeah. And
there was no energy. Everybody knew. Why would you put up the most awful person, the most corrupt person that you can find, and just simply say, well, we can make it a one-issue thing. We'll make it about the first woman president. Yeah. When you have 94 or 95 million people in this country that are under or unemployed, you have wage stagflation where people are making less now than they were in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
People's debt-to-income ratio has never been higher. All the negatives there, and yet they still try to tell us that, Trump is inheriting one of the most prosperous economies of any president. They never stop shit.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem to end. And this is what people are like, are you fucking kidding me? I have a 28-year child who's living in my goddamn basement listening to conspiracy radio all the time. When he should be going out making a life for himself, having children, giving me grandchildren, and taking on responsibilities. When they were 27, they were already in the process of doing that. Today, these kids are stunted because there's no opportunity for them. There's no jobs. They can go out and find a $10, $15 an hour job. Okay, but that's less than a person making minimum wage in 1953 was making when you factor inflation in. We are a society of poor people being driven into deeper poverty every single day. And these idiots who have access, like the Warren Buffetts of the world. I rail on Warren Buffett because Warren Buffett needs to die.
Oh, yeah.
People like him who go around who are nothing but pirates and hypocrites who are able to borrow billions of dollars from the central bank at literally 0.5% to buy up everything and put hundreds of thousands of people out of work just by snapping their fingers and then say, ooh, I'm just such this great guy.
Yeah, and of course, Fox News is there to tell you how awesome he is. Oh, Warren Buffett, blah, 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 blah. And of course, they definitely kind of represent the rich. They shamelessly represent the rich and these people, and they will not tell you the truth about Buffett. And of course, they won't tell you that he's related to Obama. And then you've got the liberal media, which is just never ends. They're just the worst. They're the worst people in the world.
So maybe this is the change. Look, I love business, right?
Right.
It's a game. It's fun. It's something. It could give you a very nice life. We live in this monopoly game, and it's not going to change. Yes, it's understanding what the English language really is and how it works. It still doesn't take the fact that we have to eat, we have to procreate, we have to live our lives. And I think it's much better to do that when you can make your own rules, be your own boss, play in a game, but also have enough on your own. Okay,
well, I think that
being an entrepreneur
is taking place. There are examples of that, what you just said. But at the same time, that is the exception. It's not the rule.
No, we live in we don't live in
the economy, expiring.
We don't live in an area like, I'll give you an example. Back when I was in investment banking, working in New York. I know we got a really quick thing. We lived in the age of angel investments. All right, people had money in the bank because interest rates that the banks paid out were higher than the level of inflation. Mm-hmm. So it was easy to find people who could put $100,000, $500,000 into creating new businesses. Today, you all have to go to Mark Cuban, okay, and go on the Shark Tank. Fuck these scumbags. That's my attitude. They're stealing everything that's not nailed down, and they're stealing people's lives, their labor, and their money. And it has to stop. Because I think we as humans, we love it's just, listen, it's fun. It gives your life purpose when you can do those kind of things, right?
Yeah. But I mean, that is used about a minute. That example is used. We see a lot of people, a lot of successful people, and then you've got these large swaths of people in America here that think that they can achieve that. And
not now.
Not now.
Not at this point.
Not now. No.
You can't do it anymore.
But as long as that illusion is there that is still attainable, achievable, they've got us cornered. But we think that we're on vacation in Cancun.
You just actually nailed it, because they think they can propagandize us to believing that opportunity still exists. Well, It does technically, but it ain't like it used to be. You can't go and create your own job the way you used to 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We got about probably less than 10 seconds left. Greg, stay on with me. I gotta wrap up and.
Try to stop them. Don't put that on your wish list. That's retarded babble. Protesters make the hit list soon as they start to rabble. They are nothing but fishes in the barrel. It doesn't have to be Christmas for a carol. Some decorate with ornamental decorum. Some perform Shakana on Hanukkah and Purim. That's where my job come in. I am a blessing to the mercenary for the corporation selling weapons to them. Any potential competitor step into them. I'm authorized to knock them out and stick a GPS into them. They want to sell uranium to Iran that's enriched. That's a bitch. Now they gotta teach you.